Hello everyone, Mr. Hansen again. Today's topic we're going to look at is using inequality symbols. And I'm sure you've seen these before, but let's just review the 4 or 5 major ones. The first one is the less than sign. Let me write this out in words. Less than. And the way you can remember it, it kind of looks like the capital L. So the less than sign always kind of looks like a slanted capital L. The next sign symbol would be the greater than symbol. Greater than. And then we have a couple that are similar to those two. This one is less than or equal to. So when we talk about the numbers that will work for problems with this symbol, there's really only one additional number compared to this. This one is less than symbol. This green one is less than or equal to. So you have two options for this inequality to work. Either the numbers, when you compare them, will be less than each other, or possibly this time equal. And along those same lines, we have greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal. Okay. Sometimes you'll see this symbol. This next one is an equal sign with a slash through it. This means not equal to. Not equal to. Okay, so inequalities are basically when you compare numbers or you compare sets of numbers, these symbols will never be exactly equal to, like the equations. You know, equations we use the equal sign. These inequalities, besides these two, will never have anything equal. So let's just look at some examples. Okay. Example 1. Let's look at 5, and we're going to decide if this is true or false. 5 is less than 7. Okay, so you'd read this from left to right. 5 is less than 7. Okay, is that true or false? I would think you all agree that it's true. Now, just so you understand, if I wrote it like this, tell me if this is true or false. Is 7 greater than 5? And the answer is true. Okay, but notice the way we read this, we changed from less than to greater than. Okay, it's just like saying, if I have, let's say, for example, I have an older brother, I could say, I am younger than my brother, or the other option is I could say my brother is older than me. But the meaning is the same, and that's the same thing here. This would be saying I am younger than my brother, and this one would say my brother is older than I. Same thing, both true. Okay, let's look at another example. How about 2/3 and 4/5? This time, we're going to decide which fraction is greater than the other one. So we'll put the symbol in there in a second. The biggest thing you got to do in these situations is find a common denominator, because like we found with the pattern blocks the other day, if you have different denominators, we have different size pieces that the pie is cut into, so we got to make them the same. So this should not be a shocker that the least common denominator here would be 15. So I have to multiply 3 by 5 to get 15, so I do the same thing to the numerator. So I have 10/15, and I got to compare 10/15 with, let's see what we get, 5 times 3 to get 15, so we multiply the top by 3. So the question is, which one's bigger? Is 10/15 more or less than 12/15? I think you agree that the 12/15 is greater. So another way to say it is this 10/15 is less than 12/15. If you want to switch the order and say 12/15 is greater than 10/15, that goes back to my analogy with my brother. Okay. Now, let's say, for example, I want you to tell me if this statement's true. Let me grab a different sheet. Is 13 less than or equal to 40? True or false? Is 13 less than or equal to 40? Well, it's not equal to, that's for sure. But it is less than. So this would be true. Okay. What if I said, is 13 less than or equal to 13? Well, we all know 13 is not less than itself. However, it is equal to. So this is still true because we can now look at it as equal or less than. It can cover both cases. See if you can do this one on your own. Let's try. Tell me, is 0.438 greater than or equal to 0.403? I'll give you a second to tell me if that's true or false. Okay. If you said this is true, you are correct. Okay, this decimal is definitely bigger than that one. Okay, so inequalities, a lot of times I like to say inequalities are used to compare two numbers or set boundaries for sets of numbers. Okay, and when we get to solving linear inequalities, we'll learn more about that second option. But for now, we're just comparing numbers. We'll use those 4 or 5 signs to do that.